Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN-India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart this evening. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says economy is emerging strong as key parameters show signs of positive growth. Political activities gather momentum for the formation of new government in Bihar. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.89% and Public Service Broadcasting Day is been observed today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with Prime Minister of Vietnam Nguyen Xuan Phuc will co-chair the 17th ASEAN-India Summit today. The leaders of all 10 ASEAN member states will participate in the summit. The summit will be held online. We have a report.
The summit will review the status of ASEAN-India strategic partnership and take stock of progress made in key areas such as connectivity, maritime cooperation, trade and commerce, education and capacity building, etc. The leaders will discuss ways to further strengthen ASEAN-India engagement and in this context will note the adoption of ASEAN-India Plan of Action 2021 to 2025, COVID-19, post-pandemic economic recovery and important regional and international development will also be discussed at the summit. ASEAN-India Summit provides the opportunity for India and ASEAN to engage at the highest level. India's activist policy underlining ASEAN centrality reflects the importance India attaches to engagement with ASEAN. Anupam Mish, AR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil the life-size statue of Swami Vivekananda at the campus of Jawaharlal Nehru University in the national capital today through video conferencing. Minister for Education Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will also be present on the occasion. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today said that the economy is emerging strong as key parameters of the economy are in the positive trajectory. She said India strongly dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic and active cases and mortality rate are showing a declining trend.
There is definitely a strong recovery seen that is emerging. Active cases of COVID have declined from 10 lakhs to 4.89 lakhs. And the case fatality rate has also come down. It is, as it stands now, 1.47%.
Addressing the press conference in New Delhi today, the minister said rise in PMI index, energy consumption, GST collection, bank credit, FPI investment show that India's economy is doing better.
Bank credit year-on-year growth improved by 5.1% as of 23rd October 2020. Markets are at record high. Record market capitalization is happening. Net investments, FPIs, is positive. And the reserves like never before of foreign exchange is at $560 billion.
Informing about the progress made in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, she said 28 states and union territories have been brought under the national portability of ration cards from the 1st of September of this year. This has benefited around 69 crore beneficiaries who can pick the food grains from any fair-priced shop, said the minister. Ms. Nirmala said several measures taken for the farmers are resulting in the positive impact. She informed that more than 1,43,000 crore rupees have been sanctioned to the farmers through Kisan Credit Card Scheme. She added that 25,000 crore rupees have been disbursed for additional emerging working capital funding for farmers through NABARD.
Nitish Kumar is likely to take oath as Chief Minister of Bihar after Deepavali. JDU General Secretary K.C. Tyagi said the process of formation of the new government has begun. JDU President Nitish Kumar will meet party's new legislators this afternoon at his official residence in Patna. Mr. Tyagi said discussion among allies of National Democratic Alliance is continuing. Hindustani Awam Morcha HIM Chief Jitan Ram Manjhi today met Nitish Kumar along with his 4 newly elected members. Later, talking to reporters, Mr. Mahaji said being a former Chief Minister will not be member in the new cabinet. Earlier, Vikashsheel Insan Party VIP Chief Mukesh Sahni also met Mr. Kumar. It may be noted, VIP and HAM got 4 seats each in the assembly elections. Meeting of party legislators of RJD and left parties is underway at the residence of Rabdi Devi in Patna to analyze the party's performance in the assembly polls. The Congress has also convened party legislators meeting at party headquarters in Patna. Meanwhile, party's senior leader Tariq Anwar demanded change in state party leadership in Bihar. Meanwhile, Chief Electoral Officer H.R. Srinivasa submitted a list of newly elected 243 members of the Assembly Governor Phagu Chauhan. The tenure of Bihar Assembly is till the 29th of this month. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 92.89%. More than 52,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. According to Health Ministry, the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 80,66,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 5.63% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 4,89,000. During the past 24 hours, 47,905 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases to over 86 lakhs. The ministry said 10 states and union territories have reported 78% of the new cases. Delhi witnessed another spike and reported the highest tally so far with 8,593 new cases. Delhi is followed by Kerala with around 7,000 cases and Maharashtra with 4,907 cases. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.48%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 550 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,28,121. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, over 11,93,000 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has gone up to 12 crore 19 lakh.
COVID-19 potential vaccine candidate Covishield has completed the enrollment of Phase 3 clinical trials. This was announced by the Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) and Serum Institute of India (SII). ICMR is providing continuous support to SII in conducting and funding the ongoing clinical trials of Covishield. They are conducting Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials of Covishield at 15 different centers across the country. The enrollment of all 1,600 participants was completed last month. DG ICMR Dr. Balram Bhargav said India is playing a prominent role in vaccine development and manufacturing globally. CEO of SII Adar Poonawalla said ICMR has played a huge role in strengthening India's fight against COVID-19. Covishield has been developed at the SII Pune laboratory with a master seed from Oxford University and AstraZeneca. Based on the Phase 2 and 3 trial results, SII with the help of ICMR will pursue the early availability of this product for India. SII has already manufactured 40 million doses of the vaccine. ICMR and SII have further collaborated for clinical development of Covovax developed by Novavax of USA. In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 96.64%. This is 3.85% more than the national average. The number of active cases in the state is continuously declining. Currently, 6,392 patients are undergoing treatment at various hospitals.
Telangana reported 1,015 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID cases reported in the state has gone up to 2,54,666. The state conducted over 40,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate slightly improved to 92.65%, with 1,716 more people recovering yesterday. Currently, the state has around 17,000 active cases, out of which over 14,000 are in home isolation. The Tamil Nadu government has withdrawn its earlier decision to reopen schools and colleges from the 16th of this month. In a statement issued today by the state government in Chennai, that the permission granted for gatherings up to 100 people at a time in socio, political and religious events also stands withdrawn. More from our correspondent.
Faced with opposition from several quarters, including many of the parents, the government had a meeting with the parents in all the high and higher secondary schools on the 9th of this month. Based on the inputs, the government has now decided to keep the decision of reopening the schools in abeyance. until further orders. The decision to reopen the arts, science, engineering and polytechnic colleges also has been put off for the time being. However, research scholars and final year PG science students are allowed to attend their colleges and research institutions from the 2nd December. The hostels in such institutions have also been allowed to function. The intensity of the COVID-19 pandemic in Tamil Nadu is in a declining trend. Jai Singh, AER News, Chennai.
In the fight against COVID-19, doctors, nurses and health workers have been at the forefront. Taking into consideration the vulnerability these people face, priority has been set by the government to vaccinate them first. Also, to ensure that a person is not vaccinated twice, the authorities can avoid the same with the help of the Aadhaar card number. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The vaccination campaign will be linked to Aadhaar so that there remains no loopholes in the COVID vaccination, and also to ensure that the same person is not given shots twice. According to the health department sources, in the first phase, the vaccine will be provided mainly to those working in the health sector. Prior to that, Aadhaar number will be sought from such eligible persons. A special app has been developed by the central government for this vaccination drive, and the list of such people is being updated on a priority basis. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Sanjay Pandey of the GB Pant Hospital will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011 23314444 and post queries on a Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight at the FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on a YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart this evening. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says economy is emerging strong as key parameters show signs of positive growth. Political activities gathered momentum for the formation of new government in Bihar. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.89%. And Public Service Broadcasting Day being observed today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
All India Radio presents Northeast Diary, glimpses of the news of the week from the northeastern states.
All about the region, a gateway to Southeast Asia, the developments and the destinations to look forward to.
News from the art, cultural and entertainment world of the northeastern states of India. All this and more.
Every Thursday, 5:30 to 6 p.m. in the evening on 100.1 All India Radio FM News Channel. In yet another ceasefire violation, Pak Army troops initiated unprovoked and indiscriminate firing along the LOC in Naushehra sector of Rajouri district and Shahpur, Kidney and Kaspa sectors of district Poonch in the morning today. The vigilant Indian Army troops guarding the fence are retaliating befittingly to silence the guns of the Pak Army troops. There are no reports of damage to any property and loss of any life from so far. More details are awaited. In a swift and well-planned operation executed by the Indian Army intelligence agencies at Meghalaya, Assam, Bangladesh border, dreaded hardcore Ulfa-I leader self-styled Colonel Drishti Rajkhwa, along with 4 accomplices, surrendered with huge quantity of arms. Rajkhwa surrendered last night. More from a correspondent.
The surrender of Jistri Raskwa, the second in command of the anti-talk faction of the ULFA, is a major blow to the banned outfit. He has been in the wanted list of the security agencies for a long time. He was responsible for the antisocial activities of the outfit in Lower Assam. Now, he is being interrogated by the security forces. Though the Assam police is yet to make any official statement on his arrest, Jistri Raskwa is expected to join in the peace process under ULFA Proto Group. The center and the Assam government held several rounds of talks with the group, while also appealed the anti-talk faction chief Paresh Barua to return to the mainstream. Manaspatim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
In Kerala, the State Election Commission issued official notification for the local body election today. The polls will be held in 3 phases on 8th, 10th and the 14th of next month.
The nomination papers will be accepted from today onwards till November 19th. As being the first election to be held amid COVID pandemic in Kerala, strict COVID protocol has been put in place for the conduct of local body election. Postal voting facility will be provided for COVID positive patients and those in quarantine. Meanwhile, the state cabinet decides to bring an ordinance for enabling voters who test COVID positive or quarantined after the deadline for seeking postal ballot to vote in the last hour of polling in the election day. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Arunachal Pradesh State Election Commission SEC today announced the elections for the Panchayat and urban local bodies in the state. The SEC has informed that the date of notification will be on November 24th. The last date of filing nomination will be on December 2nd and the last date for withdrawal of nomination will be on December 7th. The date of polling is on December 22nd and counting of votes will be on December 26th. The elections for the Panchayat Raj institutions and municipal bodies of Itanagar and Pasighat will be held in a single phase. With the announcement of the election process, the Model Code of Conduct has come into effect in the state from today.
The Jharkhand Assembly unanimously passed a House resolution seeking a separate code for Adivasis. The resolution, which demanded provisions for a separate Adivasi Sarna religious code for inclusion in the census register. After passing the resolution, Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Hemant Soren, said that the religious code will be able to present an exact number of tribal communities, help document the population, preserve tribal languages, culture and history, and help them avail the constitutional rights. The main aim of this resolution is to solve the concern of tribal population, which is decreasing after every census. It was 38.03% in 1931, which came down to 26.02% in 2011. Finance Ministry today said Central Goods and Service Tax CGST Delhi has busted a syndicate of firms involved in availing benefit of around 685 crore rupees from bogus invoices. A case was registered against the company, Messrs. Ban Ganga Impacts, having the principal place of business at Mahipalpur in New Delhi. The company has availed the invoices from the fake entities amounting to 685 crore rupees, involving GST of 50 crore rupees, and succeeded to get refund of 35 crore rupees.
In Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan launched a roadmap to Atmanirbhar Madhya Pradesh today. On this occasion, the Chief Minister said special attention will be given to education and health in self-sufficient Madhya Pradesh. A network of hospitals will be established across the state for this purpose. He further said that there will also be a focus on employment and economy, and small and cottage industries will be encouraged. Karnataka State Cabinet today gave administrative approval for a sum of 15,767 crore rupees as its share for the 18,600 crore rupees suburban rail project for Bengaluru city. Law Minister Swami informed that a sum of 7,438 crore rupees will be routed through railways and financial institutions, and 3,000 crore rupees will come through PPP mode. Under the suburban rail project, 3 railway corridors will be developed between Bengaluru city and Devanahalli, Baipanahalli and Chikkabanavara, Kengeri and Whitefield. In another decision, the Cabinet also revised project cost by 18.75 crore rupees to beautify Church Street in Bengaluru. The street will be made pedestrian friendly with granite slabs and LED lights.
On account of Deepavali, a public awareness procession is organized in Bengaluru today to create awareness on the ill effects of crackers on the environment. The fire services, disaster management and home guards personnel will take part in the procession in the evening today from Vidhana Soda to the National College grounds. A mock drill will be conducted in the National College grounds about fire accidents caused by crackers and precautions to be taken. The Central Crime Branch of Bangalore Police Department has registered 25 cases and arrested 42 accused in the drive against cricket betting during the IPL matches in Bangalore. During the raids against the betting centres, the police recovered 1 crore 54 lakh rupees. Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar today said Bihar has come on the map of Ramsar Sites. In a tweet, he said Bihar has got its first Ramsar site at Kabartal in Begusarai, becoming a wetland of international importance. The minister said it is an important wetland of the Central Asian flyway for the population of migratory birds and biodiversity. With this, now India has 39 Ramsar sites. The aim of the Ramsar sites is to develop and maintain an international network of wetlands which are important for the conservation of global biodiversity.
Today is the birth anniversary of renowned ornithologist Salim Ali. Born in Mumbai on the 12th of November in 1896, Salim Mohiuddin Abdul Ali was not only a bird lover but also a naturalist. He is often referred to as the Birdman of India. He was the first Indian to conduct systematic bird surveys across India and wrote several books that popularized ornithology in India. Salim Ali played a pivotal role in the establishment of Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, Keladev National Park, and prevent the destruction of what is now the Silent Valley National Park. Along with Sidney Dillon Ripley, he wrote the landmark 10-volume Handbook of the Birds of India and Pakistan. Let's listen to an excerpt from his interview.
मुश्किल तो यही है कि हमारा पॉपुलेशन इस कदर बढ़ रहा है कि इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस तो बिल्कुल खत्म ही हो गया है, क्योंकि हर चीज में इंसान का दखल है। आप देखें कि जंगलों में जहाँ के जानवरों को रहना चाहिए, वहाँ इंसान ने जाकर जंगल काट डाले और मैदान बना दिया, और अभी जो जंगल बाकी है उसको भी लेना चाहता है और उस पर हमले हो रहे हैं।
Public Service Broadcasting Day is being observed today. The day is celebrated every year to commemorate the only visit of Mahatma Gandhi to the studio of All India Radio, Delhi in 1947. The father of the nation addressed the displaced people who had temporarily settled at Kurukshetra in Haryana after partition.
मेरे दुखी भाइयों और बहनों, मुझे कोई पता नहीं है कि सिवाय आपके मुझको कोई भी सुनता है या नहीं। ये अनुभव मेरी जिंदगी में मेरे लिए दूसरा है। पहला अनुभव इंग्लैंड में हुआ था जब मैं राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस में गया। मुझको पता ही नहीं था कि मुझको इस तरह से कुछ बोलना है। मैं तो एक अनजान पुरुष हूँ, मैं कोई दिलचस्पी भी नहीं लेता हूँ, लेकिन दुख के साथ मिल जाना वो तो मेरा जीवन भर का प्रयत्न है।
In Uttarakhand, the state government has permitted the sale of green crackers in 6 cities and restricted bursting of crackers for 2 hours on Diwali, Gurpurab and Chhath in view of the National Green Tribunal's NGT directions amid the COVID-19 pandemic and surge in levels of air pollution. As per the official press release, these 6 cities are Dehradun, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Haldwani, Rudrapur and Kashipur. While the state government has fixed a time slot of 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Diwali and Gurpurab for bursting of the crackers, green crackers can be burst from 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. on Chhath Day. The NGT has reserved its order on the issue of imposing a temporary ban on the use and sale of firecrackers across the country in a bid to protect vulnerable people from the increase of air pollution amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The NGT has directed cities and towns in the country with moderate air quality to only allow the sale of green crackers and restricted timings to burst them during festivals. In a series on Save Diwali, today we will talk about food safety during Diwali. People should always keep themselves hydrated, and while buying sweets, the best before date should always be checked. Trans fats should be avoided and healthy fats and oil in food be taken. Fatty foods and high-calorie sweets be replaced with healthier alternatives like fruits and low-calorie sweets. Preference should be given to grilling and baking instead of deep frying.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs (CCEA) has approved continuation and revamping of the scheme for financial support to public-private partnerships in infrastructure viability gap funding scheme till 2024-25 with a total outlay of 8,100 crore rupees. Briefing reporters in New Delhi after the Cabinet meeting yesterday, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the aim of this scheme is to promote public-private partnerships in social and economic infrastructure, leading to efficient creation of assets and ensuring their proper operation and maintenance, and make the economically and socially essential projects commercially viable. The Union Cabinet has also approved Production-Linked Incentive (PLI) scheme for 10 key sectors for enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities and exports. These sectors include telecom and networking products, pharmaceuticals and drugs, automobile and auto exponents, textile products and food products. Industry body FICCI has said that the announcement of PLI scheme for 10 sectors by the government is a major boost for the manufacturing sector. The Income Tax Department has conducted searches on Tuesday in the case of a leading wholesale bullion and gold jewellery dealer doing business from Chennai. The search operation was carried out at 32 premises located in Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, Coimbatore, Salem, Trichy, Madurai and Tirunelveli. The searches so far have resulted in the detection of undisclosed income of more than 500 crore rupees. Central Board of Direct Taxes (CBDT) said the evidence unearthed include unaccounted stock maintained by the assessee at various places. Around 814 kilograms of excess stock valued at around 400 crore rupees was identified and would be brought to tax. The data from the system maintained by the group shows a net income of 102 crore rupees outside the books for the financial year 2018-19 alone.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, advisor to Lieutenant Governor Bashir Ahmed Khan chaired a meeting to review the winter preparedness of Power Development Department in Srinagar yesterday. On the occasion, the advisor took a detailed review of the winter preparedness of the department, including the availability of buffer stock of transformers. He directed the concerned officers to ensure the availability of buffer stock of transformers at every electric division to cater the need in case of damage to transformers. He also directed chief engineers to conduct enforcement drives to check the electricity theft in the respective areas and asked them to reward the enforcement teams for good work. Besides, he issued directions for all deputy commissioners to check on the sale of unauthorized electric gadgets, particularly electric heaters. Mr. Khan directed PDD to loop in the Disaster Management Department and SDRF to provide the logistic support manpower and other advanced equipment. He asked PDD officers to prepare the contingency plan to rope in private players. To ensure continuous supply of power to essential centers, the advisor directed officers to keep electricity available at hospitals, civil secretariat, high court and other essential service providing institutions. During the meeting, the Director Tourism Kashmir informed that the department is going to organize White Christmas celebration on the 25th of December and Snow Carnival and New Year Carnival at Gulmarg. The Finance Minister said that a new scheme of Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana has been launched to incentivize creation of new employment opportunities during the COVID recovery phase. She said under the Rozgar Yojana, the central government will provide subsidy for 2 years in respect of new eligible employees after 1st of October of this year. She said the subsidy support will be credited upfront in Aadhaar-seeded EPFO account of eligible new employees.
Now let's take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital had fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later in the day. Minimum temperature was recorded at 15 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 29 degrees. In Mumbai, sky will be clear. Minimum temperature in the metropolis was 19 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have mainly clear sky varying between 22 and 33 degrees Celsius. Onto the north in Srinagar, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 0 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 17 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening with temperature hovering between 1 and 20 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening, and temperature will hover between 6 and 22 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to co-chair virtually 17th ASEAN-India Summit with his Vietnamese counterpart this evening. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says economy is emerging strong as key parameters show signs of positive growth. Political activities gather momentum for the formation of new government in Bihar. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.89%. And Public Service Broadcasting Day been observed today. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that we end the Midday News.